What's up, guys? This is Dr. Z, that Tarot Teddy Bear. Hope this message finds you well. And today we're going to be talking about a rune. A rune. Yes, a rune. A rune is an alphabet that was a part of the Germanic European writing system. And so we're going to talk about this rune and what this rune means and how it relates to the message of the day. All right? So the message of the day, we're going to be talking about sacrifice. Necessary sacrifice. And we're also going to be pairing it with our card of the day, which is the King of Wands. So we're going to put it all together. All right? So we're going to be talking about the King of Wands. And we're going to be talking about Teiwaz. So let's get into it. So today we're going to be talking about the god Tyr. Tyr is associated with the rune Teiwaz. Teiwaz is the 17th rune in the Elder Futark. The Elder Futark is an alphabet system associated with the Germanic people of Europe. So we have the rune Teiwaz, which is associated with our day of Tuesday. Did you know? Also, did you know that the runes are similarly associated with our alphabets? So we may be writing with the runes and don't even know it. How about that? Now, the runes mean secret. And they were used not only for alphabets, but they were used for magic. It is believed, and there's evidence, that the Germanic people, as with the Vikings, they used the runes as a form of protection and magic. You will see this particular rune on the helmets and perhaps shields of the Germanic people who would go to war. For the god here is associated with war. He's a warrior energy. He's associated with the sun, masculine energy, fire energy. I associate him with also Leo. For Leo, associated with the sun. Now the god Tyr is associated with courage. He's also associated with dedication, trust, total trust in sacrifice, positive sacrifice. So now, in order to understand this rune a little bit better, we have to understand the story of the god Tyr. In order to understand the god Tyr's story and how this particular energy is associated with sacrifice, we must first look at the story of Fenrir, or the Fenris wolf. Now, the Fenris wolf was a mighty and powerful beast. Mighty, so mighty that the Norse gods basically seemed to have feared him. And so their goal was to bind him. And so they tried to bind him with every chain they could. But the Fenris wolf always broke free of those chains. Until there came a time where they fashioned and formed and shaped a chain that could hold this particular beast. But the wolf became suspicious. Now the wolf is under understanding that no chain can bind him, basically because he has broken free of every chain that they tried to bind him with. But this particular chain perhaps looked different and created some level of suspicion within the beast, or the wolf, so to say. So what happened? The wolf said, "Okay, you can bind me, but one of you gods will have to put your hand in my mouth." Well, only one god would step forward who had the guts to do it. The courageous, the bold, the just Tyr. Once the god put his hand in the mouth of the wolf, the wolf became aware that he could not free himself from the chains. and he bit the god Tyr's hand off. This is why the god is associated with sacrifice. For he sacrificed his hand for the greater good. He sacrificed himself for a cause greater than himself. Think about that. It required courage. It required commitment. It required total trust. It required positive self-sacrifice. And so the god Tyr has been known to be associated with sacrifice. And so what we're going to talk about is necessary sacrifice. Necessary sacrifice. And why sacrifice may be important in order for you to reach your next level of elevation. In order for you to become aligned with your path of authority. In order for you to get to the place that your soul is calling you to. So ask yourself the question as we enter into this discussion. What sacrifice do you, or sacrifices do you have to make in order for you to get to where you need to be, or where you want to be? What sacrifices are necessary for you at this time? And I'm going to use myself as an example for you. I was working in a career, a secure career financially, but I was not happy. I was miserable. I was miserable because there was no work-life balance for me. And I was working for an individual who was not willing to accommodate my requests for work-life balance. It was when I said to the person that this was untenable for me, their response to me was, well, Dr. Weaver, you have a personal decision to make. That said to me that I was not valued. What does value mean? Here are some words that are associated with the word value. Value means to be cherished, to be treasured, to be prized, to be worth it, to be worth one's weight in gold, to be appreciated, to be well respected, to be well thought of. And so when this individual made this statement to me that, well, Dr. Weaver, you have a personal decision to make, it said to me that I was not those words to them. And at the time, it sent me into a spiral, and it really caused me to question my worth. Until the fire came. The King of Wands. We'll talk more about that. But it caused me to question my worth in that moment. And it hurt me deeply. I'm a Pisces, so therefore I was in my emotions, flippity-flop, flippity-flop. I was drowning in my waters. And then the energy of the fire came to me and said, wait, you are worth it. You do have value. You can contribute something significant to the world. So get on your path of authority and jump off this ship that is giving you the security that you need in the physical material world. But you're dying in the spiritual. You're languishing because you're not fully committed to your path of authority as a light worker, as a healer in this world. And so, I decided that I'm going to take my parachute off. I decided to trust God. I decided to make the necessary sacrifice that was important for me to do in this physical world so that the spiritual world could understand that I was ready. And I was obedient. There was a lot of many pushing efforts from the realm of the spirit. My angels were constantly trying to get me to jump like the fool. Jump. And so one day I decided, if I'm not going to be valued in this organization, if I'm not going to receive the work-life balance that I requested and I begged for, then I have to take the power that I know that I have and create the reality in the world that I want. And to not let fear and uncertainty and the unknown limit me and prevent me from jumping. So I jumped, and I'm glad I did. And now we get to the energy of the King of Wands. The King of Wands, bold, courageous, daring, surrounded by fire, in the fire itself, an active energy, moving and shaking in the world, owning its power. And so I channeled the energy of the wands. I decided to take leadership of my life. I decided to be bold and courageous, daring, if you say, taking a risk, leaping into the void. But I decided to trust God, to trust my angels, to trust my ancestors. And so, interestingly enough, this wand is associated with careers. How about that? And work. Work that you're passionate about. I decided to seek out my passions, to live and create a world that is in alignment with my passion. What are you doing? Are you being courageous and bold? Are you being daring? Are you jumping? Are you allowing fear to prevent you from the victory that is before you? So I realized that I was in a battle. And the god tier, or this rune, Teiwaz, is associated with battle. But victory in battle. A guiding star for you. So, commit yourself to that which gives you passion. Commit yourself. Fully, wholeheartedly, don't look back. Trust. Trust in you. Trust in your skills and abilities. Trust in the power that is within you and around you. Trust in the source that sustains us all. Trust in the God of your understanding. That your sacrifice will not be in vain, but your sacrifice will be necessary in order for you to gain the bliss that is the alignment of your passion, that is you walking in your authority, walking in your power, For you are powerful beyond measure. And you can create the life that you want. No one is saying that it's going to be easy. It never is. But yield not to fear. For fear is the destroyer of dreams. So whenever fear comes and creeps into you, say, I trust God. I trust myself. And if you need a scripture, I remember my grandmother used to say, I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging for bread. So trust God and trust that word. But sacrifice is necessary. So jump and believe God on your way. So be courageous and bold like the King of Wands and make positive sacrifice like the God Tyr. Alright, that's your message for today. Hopefully it meant something to you. If you want a reading from me, Dr. Z, that Tarot Teddy Bear, or you're interested in a Reiki session where we lay on hands to help you heal and help that chi flow through you, you can schedule at DocZTarot.com. Alright, thank you for listening, and I hope you appreciated the lesson for today. Necessary sacrifice. Take good care. Safe journey. Peace.